Eastern Cape, and Public Works Deputy Minister Sihle Zikalala is leading a drive there to have occupants evicted from hijacked buildings in the Mthatha CBD. For months, residents and business owners there, they've been complaining about how the buildings, they say, have become hubs for criminal activity. Our Sipha Kema is there and joins us live now with those details. Sipha, good morning. Again, you've been on the move, you and the team there. We started earlier this morning looking at some of those derelict buildings, and we talked about buildings which have been refurbished and are now becoming fit for purpose, where they had been dilapidated and dens for illegal trade and illegal occupation. Where are you now and what's happening?
Absolutely, Iman, and that is one of Mthatha's biggest problems, not just Mthatha, but the Eastern Cape cities, your East London, your Nelson Mandela Bay as well. Those are the issues that they're trying to curb now when it comes to taking back the state-owned buildings, but not just only state-owned buildings, but those that have been neglected by their owners. Now, the bylaws would allow the municipality then to take that building back and implement the bylaws, but also now we have the national government as well as the provincial government stepping in. And as I mentioned, 85 buildings have been identified across the Eastern Cape, and 57 of those are going through legal processes, including eviction orders. Now, 27 eviction notices have been issued, or orders rather, have been issued for the provincial government to start implementing those eviction orders. Now, we spoke about the issues that come with these dilapidated buildings in the inner city, and we know that top of that list, Iman, is crime, criminal activity. But we're going to talk to a resident now who has quite a frustration when it comes to that. Mthatha Keza, ubusixelela mani tata ngendaba yeza buildings ngaphakathi, sithetha ngezi buildings lapha ngaphakathi zingenabantu, bahlala illegally abantu kwaye zinotsotsi.
Esigcwele kakhulu zona otsotsi seza building eziyana, ezi buildings azikade ziqala zilawulwa i-TDC. The time kunantsike uye watshintsha ugovernment, so eza building zayekwa zapheka yemka into uburhulumente be-TDC babheka sebhishwa basephiwa eJoburg seJoburg. So babuye ke ngoku abantu abazithathela indawo eMthatha sagcwala marazo ezindawo ezi zayekwa za building. Eza building besikaba yinxalenye karhulumente bengazithela urhulumente azibeka apha ngakuyo urhulumente. Sinento ezininzi lapha eSenkini Hospital eMthatha ekumasi sizenza kweza building, into ezibaluleke zoburhulumente. Into zethu sihamba sozenza komonti kobhisho ebekumasi ugovernment yena eza building uzithala ngakuye. Ezi zinto mase siyazenza komonti nakobhisho sizenza apha, urenta yena ibuilding ugovernment abhatele imali incitho yemali eninzi eyendani basebenzise ezi building. Sihlala omarazo abantu abangekho nto kurhulumente abangakho ngeniso lanto yenzekayo.
Ngoku abamarazo iyaba affecta nabantu bokuhlala kaloku laa nto, ngoba kaloku bayaba ngotsotsi abamanga.
Ngotsotsi abantu ngabantu abangazekiyo abantu bahlala kweza building, bangotsotsi uphuma umuntu wenza into erongo umuntu kophinda kuqabela la building akafumaneki ndawo, namaposta akakwazi bangazamfumana umuntu lo ndawo because indawo seyizimela vele abantu omarazo.
Alright, no, ndiyabulela kakhulu ke Mthatha Keza. That is one of the residents here talking, really making valid points here, Iman, talking about these buildings. They used to, as we said, that they're taking back state-owned buildings and infrastructure. Now, they used to belong to the government back in the days when it was still the homelands, when it was still known as the Transkei, because Mthatha used to be one of the main cities, a hive of economy and activity was in Mthatha before what we're seeing now, where it's become really ridden by crime as well as infested by dilapidated buildings and infrastructure. Now, he's saying that those buildings could be utilized by the government again, instead of them going to lease buildings in the town or in other areas. They could use those buildings since they already belong to the state, because now they are being occupied by criminals and vagrants, and also it's a problem to residents, because people actually, they come out at night, they mug and they rob people and they do criminal activities, and then they go back inside those buildings hiding in there, saying that which makes it near impossible for the police to actually find them, because most of them are habiting inside those buildings. So that's the reason why this project is happening here in Mthatha today, Iman. Of course, we still don't know which buildings exactly they're going to be evicting from, because they don't want to spook those people that are there. We're going to see, as we've seen with the building I showed you earlier on, as I mentioned, that the top part of that building before it burned down was a residential block. You had all sorts of people living there. I mean, up to a certain number of people, overpopulating that building. And then the lower level was used for businesses where there was illegal trade happening there, but also other businesses were functioning and trading from those buildings without paying rent. So that's the problem that comes with hijacked buildings, and that's exactly what we're about to see today. But we will bring you later on, we're going to meet with the teams of the MEC as well as the Deputy Minister at 12 o'clock, and thereafter we'll start moving into the inner city and start taking you through those evictions. But of course, Iman, something that you also mentioned earlier on that we spoke about, the importance of where to for those that are using those buildings for residential purposes. What is going to happen to them? We know that also the law does protect them as well, because in order for an eviction notice as well to be carried out, they also need to be placed in alternative accommodation. So we're going to ask as well those questions. Has alternative accommodation been found for those people that are about to be evicted today?
Yeah, certainly a lot to deal with, but it does seem to be moving, things seem to be moving in the right direction. Those initiatives there led in the province by the Deputy Minister for Public Works, and this is Sihle Zikalala, and we're following developments there in terms of the reclamation of both damaged, dilapidated and hijacked buildings. That was Sipha Kema.